Alright, time for things to get a bit confusing. Up to this point, there have been 3 Agerland games for Nintendo systems. A mixture of levels from those games were turned into Adventures of Lolo for the US. And then for some reason, HAL decided to change the Agerland branding. So the next Agerland game was Adventures of Lolo. Now Adventures of Lolo on the Famicom and Adventures of Lolo II for the NES share a title screen design and cutscenes. The stages, however, are completely different. In fact, the first stage of Adventures of Lolo II for the NES is the first stage of the Famicom Agerland. So despite Adventures of Lolo on the Famicom and Adventures of Lolo II on the NES often being cited as the same game, they really are not. Also, for some reason, the Adventures of Lolo II box in the US has a Happy Lolo, while the Adventures of Lolo on the Famicom has Angry Lolo. I thought that worked the other way around. The plot of the game is that Lala, Lolo's girlfriend, has been abducted. And really, that's all there is to it. The game works the same as Agerland. Your goal on every stage is to collect all of the hearts, which causes the treasure chest to open, and then collecting the treasure opens the exit door. Collecting the treasure also destroys all of the enemies on the stage, so if they are preventing you from reaching the exit, then they're gone. The puzzles in Lolo revolve around a small handful of abilities. First, you can push certain blocks. Block-pushing puzzle games are one of the cornerstones of the Japanese video game industry, with Sokoban being one of the first big computer game hits. Of course, there's a lot more to Lolo than just pushing bricks to the appropriate spot. Collecting the hearts can sometimes unlock additional abilities. Like Lolo might get the ability to shoot bullets that will turn enemies into eggs. These eggs can be pushed, or shot a second time to destroy the enemy. They'll respawn after a few seconds, and one of the keys to solving many puzzles is that if something is blocking the enemy's respawn point, then they'll appear at another place in the map. You only get a few shots when you acquire them, so the puzzles often require you to know exactly when to use those bullets. Lolo's shots can also knock some enemy shots out of the air, but only if the enemy shots aren't instant death. On some stages, acquiring enough hearts unlocks a special ability. When the next heart will unlock the ability, the hearts on the stage start flashing. You activate the special abilities by pressing B, and these only work in certain spots. Like the hammer has to have a boulder in front of it that you can smash. And you have to place the bridge on top of water. These items are only single use, but it's possible to get multiple items on each stage. The thing that adds complications to the levels are the enemies, and most of these are going to seem familiar to you if you played Agerland before. There's the Medusa heads that instantly kill you if you cross their line of sight, and their line of sight can only be blocked by boulders, enemies, or blocks that you push. These demons are similar, but they walk back and forth. The skulls are asleep until you've collected all of the hearts. Then they come to life and chase you down. These dragons are asleep until you collect all of the hearts. They don't move, they just breathe fire when they see you. The least monster of all are these snakes. They stay in one place, don't do anything, and even if you push into them, they won't kill you. These little green guys will chase after you, and if they touch you, they just go to sleep right where they are. When they're asleep, even Lolo's shots can't affect them. They're similar to these walls that walk around, except the walls don't go to sleep when they touch you. They just stay in place, blocking your way. Adventures of Lolo does not start you out easy. I wasn't able to clear a whole lot of stages just because it begins with puzzles that are roughly what I would consider intermediate difficulty. And most of the puzzles early on are designed so that taking the obvious route will trap you. So here's stage 1. If you push the brick up the passage, then you're trapped. If you put the level into a non-winnable state, you have to hit select to end your life and reset it. What you have to do is collect the hearts that you can reach. That'll give you bullets so you can get a snake out of your way. You have to use the bullets to move the snakes, otherwise you're going to be stuck at the end. In the big central area, you have to push the middle brick to open a path. If you move the side bricks, then you've trapped yourself. And that's the key to getting through level 1. They don't get easier from there. At least when you get a game over, you get a password that'll instantly take you back to whatever stage you died on, and you have as many continues as you need. There's one more mercy here. This is the shortest Agerland game. There's only 50 stages to it, and there aren't any hidden branches or multiple paths like there were in the previous Agerland game. After this, there's one more Lolo game on the Famicom, and I'm not sure if that one syncs up with the NES series. While the series never really caught on in Japan, there does seem to be a dedicated cult following for it, and Adventures of Lolo reviewed quite well on release. I have to say, I like Adventures of Lolo a lot. Those extensions of the Sokoban formula really give some challenge to the game. But as a word of warning, it really is Advanced Agerland. I've read that Adventures of Lolo II on the Famicom is even harder, and I haven't gotten the chance to play my copy yet. I am looking forward to only getting through 2 or 3 levels when I record that one.